Welcome back to Morris County Politics. We're here with Tim Dougherty, Democratic candidate for the mayor of Morristown, and our next guest is Kevin Gazelle. Kevin is a candidate for the Morristown Town Council. Kevin is a strong advocate for youth-based programs, and he is also a graduate of Randolph-Macon College. And welcome, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Now, speaking of education, which we spoke of earlier, you have some definite thoughts on how you'd like to make sure that education gets a focus in Morristown.
Absolutely. I think one of the great things that I came to realize throughout the primary in walking door to door and in speaking to people in town was the emphasis on the youth and making sure that when the people who live in this town, their children have a great Morristown to live in and have the appropriate educational resources and programs to help them succeed to the fullest.
Mm-hmm. And at a statewide level, when they rank schools, I consistently see Morristown in the upper half of the total state, which is great news, and in Morris County as well, a strong public school system. So in addition to schooling, there's other youth-based programs, after school and weekend and sports activities. Do you get involved in that as well?
Absolutely. And in fact, as you mentioned, my school, Randolph-Macon College, which is a fairly obscure college I know that many people haven't heard of. Tim always jokes around with me about it. I did play basketball there, but one of the things I was involved in religiously were youth-based programs throughout the Richmond area in Virginia. And it's something that is still a passion of mine and one of the things that I really want to focus on if elected. And that goes as far as, like you mentioned, after-school programs, having a rec center in town for the kids. There are so many things, and obviously just driving through Morristown, you can see that we are saturated with an amazing amount of youth. So I definitely think that it's a focus that everyone needs to have, but it's something that I'm very passionate about.
Fantastic. And it's good to have strong things that you're focusing on.
Absolutely.
As Tim knows, part of the interest in both of your campaigns is that you have such strong drive and enthusiasm. So I sense that in talking to you.
Absolutely. And you know what? It really is exciting. And another thing, going door to door, as I mentioned earlier, coming across young families in particular, or just young people in general, who, when I was able to meet them and introduce myself, the energy that I had was reciprocated, and that was a very special bond. And I started to kind of notice that more and more as we progressed throughout the primary, and I still do in this general election, but I still see people in the streets, and now that I'm, I guess people notice me a little bit more now, say to me, we really support you, and I really think it's great that you've energized this community for the youth. I think more than anything, for young people in any town, it's people tend to not know how to get involved, and they don't know how to help a town, what they can do. They feel like just one person isn't going to help. And so much of that is just empowerment, Dave, and just saying, okay, if we can all work together, and part of my job, I'm one person, and I know that, but if I can empower other young people to get involved, we're all the future of this town. So.
And you got a young guy like Tim here running for mayor?
Very young.
That's great. So in terms of town council and working closely with the mayor, tell us about that. Is it meetings? Is it day-to-day activity? In other words, what will be one of your individual focuses in working with town council?
Sure. One of the things, obviously, besides the council meetings, and I know one of our key focuses in our platform in general, obviously, is the open transparency and having the open type forums within our community to keep that continuous line of communication between both myself, Tim, but as well as the people in town. I know Tim had mentioned it, but we really got a great sense for where people wanted to go in this town. The problem was that so much of what people were saying was falling on deaf ears for a while, or so as it seemed for them. I think the first thing we want to come in, obviously, and commit to the people is we're going to be working for you to better this town. So we're going to be listening to your ideas and to come up with the best solutions to better our town.
And Tim, I think you said earlier, that same theme. And in terms of after you've listened to and heard, and you'll be collecting all this stuff, and then you'll be broadcasting that back out to the community to say, here's what you've told us. Is that part of the plan?
You know, it's in any elected capacity for local government, it's a lot of hard work. We're going to be facing many challenges coming up after the first of the year. And one of our main focus is going to be keeping that line of communication open to the public and keeping them informed of all the issues that are affecting our local government, like Kevin said. And I told you he had great energy, and I told you how excited he was about the youth. And that just brings such a level to this team in this election that it just makes it exciting for everybody. But that's one of the things we're going to really focus on is with the council. Obviously, the mayor and the council is separate, and I'm going to keep council informed on the issues that are affecting us each day in the administration so they can be informed, so the public can be informed. Mm-hmm. They represent the public as I do, but they're the lifeline to the community. They're the lifeline to all the different community groups that are active in this town that need to be informed of what's going on, and so they can have their say, and they can listen, they can come back to me, and we can deal with the solution.
Mm-hmm. Now, some towns have full-time mayors, some towns have full-time town councils. I understand that in Morristown it's a part-time for both, is that correct? Part-time mayor position?
Yes.
And part-time?
Correct.
Okay, so you can keep your day jobs basically, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But you know, it is a very, very strong commitment that you need to make when you run for local government. Even when you volunteer for local boards, it's a strong commitment that you're making to your community. I've made that commitment. I've cleared it with work. Kevin has made that commitment to the residents of Morristown, and we look forward to serving them coming November 3rd, right after 8 o'clock p.m.
Fantastic. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Please stay with us. We've been receiving emails online, feedback from our show. Keep them coming. Our next email comes from Tom in Rockaway. Tom writes, I saw your show last week on Cable Access. Are you going to do any issue-oriented shows? The answer is yes. Of course, between now and the election, we're going to be focusing on candidates, giving the candidates airtime and getting them in front of you so you can know them, learn about them. After the election, we'll be doing lots of issue-oriented shows. So please keep your emails coming. Tell me what issues you'd like us to cover, and we'll get them on the air for you. Welcome back to our show. We're here with Tim Dougherty, candidate for mayor of Morristown, and Kevin Gazelle, candidate for Morristown Town Council. Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
So, a lot of energy in the campaign, lots going on, a few more weeks till the election. How can the viewers get involved in your campaign?
Well, first thing they can do is go to our website, timdoughertyformayor.com. You'll find lots of ways to get involved. We really want people to get involved, from our youth to our seniors. We have it. We're very energized. You'll find a lot of activity going on, a lot of different meetings and meet and greets. But one of the things that we really want to do is we don't want a low voter turnout in this election. So Democrats, let's shock them. Let's get out and vote. It's important that you vote November 3rd for the Democrats, from Governor Corzine all the way down to the line to the last council member. So get out and vote. Let's shock them. Let's have a big voting turnout. And again, timdoughertyformayor.com. Get involved.
Mm-hmm. Now, for our viewers who don't have internet, I understand you have a headquarters in town that they can stop by.
You know, thanks, David. It's 11 South Street in Morristown, New Jersey. Come on by. The headquarters is open. We're always looking for volunteers. The more volunteers, the better. Get involved in your community. As Cory Booker said, as Mayor Booker said, get off the couch, get involved, get in the game. We want to energize this community and move it forward. So come on by.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, the town councilmen or candidates for town council have ways that you can get involved in their campaign as well. Kevin, why don't you tell us about your campaign and how people can help you?
Sure. It's actually the same website as well that you can reach out, which is the timdoughertyformayor.com. And, of course, our headquarters is shared, which is 11 South Street. And as Tim mentioned, we need to continue the energy. We truly appreciate the support and dedication that we've had through the primary and the general election, and we need to continue that until November 3rd. Like I said, it's wonderful, the words of encouragement, but we also need everyone to get out and vote. That means every single person who is empowered and who wants to make a change and wants to speak up for the betterment of the town has to get out and vote.
Mhm. So we'll be looking forward to seeing your yard signs around and the advertisements and other things. Gentlemen, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, and thank you, Morris County Politics.
Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks very much.